This is every German aircraft of World War II. Fighters, bombers, transports, recon planes, gliders, even helicopters, over 80 machines. Some legendary, some terrifying, some completely insane. Fighters and interceptors. Messerschmitt Bf 109. The backbone of the Luftwaffe's fighter force, the Bf 109 was Germany's answer to air dominance. Constantly upgraded, it flew in every major theater from the war's first shot to its last. It wasn't just a plane, it was a symbol, both feared and respected. Focke-Wulf Fw 190. Nicknamed the Butcher Bird by Allied pilots, this stocky powerhouse packed devastating firepower and unmatched agility. As the premier radial engine fighter of the war, it gave the Luftwaffe a much-needed edge in the skies. Focke-Wulf Fw 152. A late-war marvel crafted by designer Kurt Tank, this sleek interceptor climbed higher and struck faster than nearly any rival. Despite its advanced design, production came too late. Few units ever reached combat. Messerschmitt Bf 110. Germany's twin-engine Zerstörer, or destroyer, tore through the skies in early campaigns. But over Britain, it was outmatched. Its second life as a night fighter, however, would earn it a fearsome new reputation after dark. Messerschmitt Me 210. Intended to replace the Bf 110, the 210 was a troubled bird. Its aerodynamic instability made flight dangerous and operations impossible, but its failure set the stage for a major comeback. Messerschmitt Me 410. Meet the Hornets or Hornet. A complete overhaul of the 210, the Me 410 fixed its flaws and flew proudly as a heavy fighter, loaded with firepower and recon capabilities. Heinkel He 51. A throwback to another age, this biplane first saw action in the Spanish Civil War. By the time global war erupted, it had been relegated to training Germany's next generation of pilots. Messerschmitt Me 262. The world's first operational jet fighter changed aerial warfare forever. Known as the Schwalbe or Swallow, its speed left piston-engine fighters in the dust. Had it been mass-produced earlier, history might look very different. Heinkel He 162. Born out of desperation, the Volksjäger or People's Fighter was a last-ditch attempt to arm young recruits with a simple jet. Cheap to build, but deadly to fly, not for its enemies, but for its own pilots. Messerschmitt Me 163. The Comet defied physics. A rocket-powered interceptor with blazing speed, it could outpace anything in the sky. But its fuel was so volatile that takeoff alone was a deadly risk. Focke-Wulf 349. A vertical launch, single-use rocket interceptor known as the Natter was daring to the point of absurdity. Designed for suicidal climbs against bomber streams, it never saw real combat, but it showed how far Germany was willing to go. Heinkel He 219. The Uhu, or Owl, was Germany's most advanced night fighter. Equipped with radar and even ejector seats, it was lethal under cover of darkness, and proved the Luftwaffe could still innovate late in the war. Dornier Du 335. The Arrow was unlike any other. Fast, sleek, and powered by a rare push-pull engine setup, it became the fastest piston-engine aircraft Germany ever built. A rare glimpse into what might have come next. Bombers and attack aircraft. Junkers Ju 87. The infamous Stuka dive bomber sent terror screaming through the air with its Jericho trumpet sirens. While brutally efficient early on, its survival relied completely on control of the skies. Junkers Ju 88. Fast, flexible, and omnipresent, the Ju 88 was used as a bomber, dive bomber, night fighter, and even a torpedo attacker. There wasn't a role this multi-purpose machine couldn't handle. Junkers Ju 188. A successor to the Ju 88, this model boasted a redesigned glass nose and upgraded engines. Nicknamed the Wretcher, or Avenger, It carried heavier bombs farther and faster, proving evolution in function and form. Junkers Ju-86. Originally a civilian airliner, it became one of Germany's earliest bombers. Though quickly outdated, it was reborn as a high-altitude recon plane, revealing enemy positions from thin air. Dornier Du-17. Dubbed the Flying Pencil due to its slim fuselage, this bomber relied on speed to survive. Fast but fragile, it was key in early blitzkrieg strikes before being outclassed later in the war. Dornier Du-215. Initially built for export, this aircraft was pulled into Luftwaffe service for critical recon missions. Its versatility kept it useful even beyond its intended scope. Dornier Du-217. Bigger, stronger, and deadlier than its predecessors, the Du-217 served in bombing, maritime attack, and night fighting. Known for its payload and range, it was a workhorse across multiple roles. Heinkel He-111. With its iconic greenhouse nose, the He-111 helped define the Luftwaffe early. Though eventually outdated, it saw use through the war as a bomber, transport, even a V-1 rocket launcher. Heinkel He-177. Germany's only true strategic bomber. The Graf or Griffin carried devastating loads but was notorious for engine trouble and mid-air fires, a dream weighed down by flawed design. Arado R-234. The Blitz was the world's first operational jet bomber. So fast that enemy fighters couldn't intercept it, it delivered surprise in every mission and showed how speed was the next frontier of warfare. Henschel HS-123. Though a biplane in the age of monoplanes, this rugged little dive bomber withstood punishment and returned fire. Its agility and toughness gave it surprising longevity on the front. Henschel HS-129. Nicknamed the Flying Can Opener, this heavily armored plane was designed for one thing: tank busting. Armed with monstrous cannons, it made life terrifying for any armored column in its path. Focke-Wulf Fw 190F specialized for ground attacks. This variant was armored and loaded for battle. Whether strafing or bombing, it could take hits and still deliver devastating payloads. Focke-Wulf Fw 190G, built for long-haul strikes, the 190G traded firepower for fuel. It dove deep into enemy territory, carrying heavy loads where fighters couldn't tread. Focke-Wulf Fw 200. Called the Scourge of the Atlantic, this former airliner hunted Allied convoys and coordinated submarine attacks. Its long reach made it a mighty threat over the sea. Heinkel He-115. A workhorse seaplane performing mine-laying, torpedo strikes, and recon across coastal waters. Slow but reliable, it helped deny the seas to Allied vessels. Transport and utility aircraft. Junkers Ju-52. Tante Ju or Aunt Ju was the Luftwaffe's reliable mule. This trimotor beast flew everywhere, carrying supplies, troops, and hope, or desperation from Crete to Stalingrad. Junkers Ju-290. Created from a bomber concept, this four-engine behemoth served in ultra-long-range missions. Recon, supply drops, even flights to Japan were rumored. Strategically vital, seen rarely. Junkers Ju-160. A civilian speedster turned military courier. Fast and sleek, it was perfect for quick staff movements behind lines, particularly early in the war. Messerschmitt Me 323. The Gigant was exactly that, a flying fortress of transport, able to haul tanks and hundreds of troops but horribly slow and vulnerable. A logistics marvel unless enemy fighters showed up. Arado R-232. Known as the Tausen Fusilier, or millipede for its ridiculous number of wheels, this transport could land on unprepared fields, making it invaluable in rough terrain. Junkers Ju-90. Evolved from an airliner, this aircraft bridged the gap into the strategic reconnaissance role, paving the way for its successor, the Ju-290. Siebel C-204. Small and fast, this twin-engine utility plane handled communication and training across Europe's vast frontlands, a behind-the-scenes workhorse. Messerschmitt Bf 108. The Typhoon was elegant and fast, used for senior staff transport and liaison. Its DNA would influence the legendary Bf 109 fighter. Fieseler Fw 156. The iconic Stork wasn't just quirky, it was miraculous. It could land in a soccer field, take off in a clearing, and hover mid-air, making it perfect for rescue and recon under fire. Siebel Fh 104. A sleek twin-engine air taxi, often ferrying elite officers. Its speed and range helped bridge the chaos between distant commands. Junkers W-34. Serving in training and light cargo loads, this sturdy single-engine plane kept logistics flowing for small, crucial missions. Junkers W-33. An older but trusted aircraft, mostly teaching future pilots how to handle larger machines. Its contributions were quiet, but essential. Heinkel He-46. An obsolete parasol wing recon plane phased out by 1940, but it had already done its duty in the Polish campaign, scouting out paths for invasion forces. Clem KL-31. A lightweight civilian aircraft pulled into basic liaison service during the war. Simple, reliable, and surprisingly effective for its modest design. Clem KL-32. A three-seat sibling of the KL-31, this wooden aircraft impressed pilots with its performance and found favor as an agile courier. Clem KL-36. Originally designed for air racing, it traded the track for the battlefield, flying officers and light cargo in military gray. Reconnaissance and maritime aircraft. Focke-Wulf Fw 189. Nicknamed the Flying Eye, this twin-boom aircraft was a battlefield observer's dream. Its glass-heavy design gave the crew wraparound visibility, critical for tracking enemy movements in real time. Henschel HS 126. A tactical scout, this high-wing monoplane handled short-range recon early in the war. Eventually overshadowed by more capable planes like the Fw 189, it still played a key role in early campaigns. Arado R-234B Recon. A recon variant of the R-234 jet bomber, it was so fast that Allied fighters couldn't catch it. Sneaking over enemy lines at jet speed, it photographed invasion buildups with impunity. Heinkel He-70. Known as the Blitz or Lightning, this sleek aircraft was originally a mail plane. With its speed and streamlined form, it easily transitioned to a military recon platform and liaison aircraft. Dornier Do-17P, a modified version of the Flying Pencil. This variant carried specialized cameras and extra fuel. It flew deep and far for valuable aerial intelligence gathering. Blohm and Voss BV 138. Universally nicknamed the Flying Shoe for its weird shape, this tri-motor flying boat patrolled the Atlantic on long maritime recon missions and sub-spotting runs. Blohm and Voss BV 222. The colossal Viking was among the largest flying boats ever built. Designed for long-range maritime haul missions, it transported vital cargo across open seas with impressive range and size. Dornier Do-24. A durable tri-motor seaplane praised for its seaworthiness. It made a name for itself in rescue missions, pulling down aviators from choppy waters under enemy fire. Dornier Do-18. Among the earliest patrol flying boats, it scanned the North Sea in the war's early days. Though outdated quickly, it played a formative role in maritime surveillance. Dornier Do-26. A four-engine flying boat of sleek lines and advanced tech, including retractable gear. It was rarely used but served in long-range recon and occasional high-level courier missions. Heinkel He 59. This long-winged biplane was originally used in recon. During the war, it stirred controversy by posing as a rescue craft while performing clandestine intel operations. Heinkel He 60. An aging biplane seaplane, launched from ships by catapult. It was gradually replaced but remained in limited use where newer planes were unavailable. Arado R-196. The definitive German shipboard aircraft, agile, durable, and deadly. Capable of engaging submarines and enemy craft, it proved indispensable on cruisers and battleships. Heinkel He 114. This float biplane had a short-lived coastal patrol role, phased out quickly in favor of more advanced monoplanes like the Arado 196. Gliders. DFS-230. Silent and strategic, the DFS-230 glider was famous for landing elite troops directly on top of Belgium's Fort Ebenemeel. Stealthy insertions like this changed the airborne playbook forever. Gotha Go 242. A twin-boom cargo and troop glider used extensively for logistics, especially on the logistically nightmarish Eastern Front. When transports were lacking, the 242 filled the gap. Messerschmitt Me 321. The giant, capable of carrying tanks or over 200 troops. Originally unpowered, these gliders needed multiple aircraft to tow them, leading to the radical development of the He 111Z twin-fuselage tug. Trainers. Focke-Wulf 131. Known as the Yeoman, this nimble biplane trained thousands of Luftwaffe pilots from the war's earliest days. Easy to fly yet responsive, it built Germany's pilot foundation. Focke-Wulf 133. The Yeommeister was an aerobatic legend. Advanced and highly agile, it was beloved by skilled pilots refining aerial combat maneuvers before heading into battle. Heinkel He 72. The Cadet was an essential pilot trainer during Germany's military buildup. A simple and forgiving biplane, it helped thousands transition from classroom to cockpit. Clem KL-35. This elegant low-wing aircraft served as a bridge between basic and advanced training. Stable but responsive, it forged dependable flyers in Luftwaffe schools. Arado R-96. A monoplane trainer that closely mirrored frontline aircraft. It prepared young men for the demanding handling of fighters like the Bf-109, narrowing the skill gap before combat. Focke-Wulf Fw 44. Affectionately called Stieglitz or Goldfinch, this trainer biplane saw incredible success. Nearly every pilot who flew in WWII started out in a Stieglitz at some point. Focke-Wulf Fw 56. The Stürzer was a transition platform to high-performance fighters. With a single-seat parasol wing design, it acclimated cadets to the feel of combat aircraft. Focke-Wulf 181. The Bistman trained intermediate and advanced student pilots in monoplanes. It even played emergency combat roles late in the war when fighter shortages struck. Arado R-76. A tiny parasol-winged aircraft that offered both fighter training and an emergency backup defense option. Its limited numbers belied its value as a stepping stone to combat. Gotha Go 145. Simply built and durable, this basic biplane trainer became a surprise night ground attack plane later in the war, bombing Soviet positions under the cover of darkness. Arado R-66. Already considered dated, this biplane shuttled thousands of learner pilots through the Luftwaffe's system. When needed, it too picked up a second life dropping bombs on the Eastern Front. Focke-Wulf Fw 58. A multi-role twin-engine platform, a trainer, transport, and even ambulance. Its adaptability made it just as valued behind the lines as anything on the front. Siebel C-202. A light two-seater turned into a first flight screening tool. It helped new recruits experience their first flight controls and decide if they were truly airmen. Helicopters and Autogyros. Focke-Wulf Fw 223. Known as the Drake or Dragon, this was one of the first true helicopters. Twin rotors gave it an impressive lift. Though produced in small numbers, it impressed with its potential. Flettner FL 282. The colibri, or hummingbird, was experimental and revolutionary. Using intermeshing rotors, it served as a ship-based recon helicopter, spotting enemies and steering torpedoes before they ever knew it. Focke-Wulf Fw 330. A compact, collapsible rotor kite. Deployed from U-boats, it gave submarine crews a rare airborne vantage point far from shore. Primitive, but resourceful in a time of desperation. From biplanes to jet bombers, unarmed gliders to rocket-powered interceptors, this aerial arsenal tells the technological story of a regime racing against time and numbers. Some of these birds soared into legend, others into infamy. But together, they paint an unforgettable portrait of aviation at war's most pivotal moment.